put that on the headset. That don't fucking matter. What matters is YouTube, me, YouTube Studio. Sunday game stream. That's not what I'm currently streaming. I'm gonna stream some history. Content? Maybe content? Live? There we go. Can we, like, get a shareable link? Yeah. Discord. There we go. Oh, chat. Discord. Control V. There we go. At everyone. I'm streaming some educational content for a change. Yeah. It's educational content. All right. Hello, class. Are you ready to learn some history? Alright, I hope you're ready to learn some history because I'm not ready. I'm still eating. But we're gonna get started anyway. Now let's flip that around the other way. No, I don't need Steam open. What I need is to have OBS over there and Chrome over there pointing. So that I can see what I'm doing. I can see the stupid faces that I'm making. And I can see what I'm reading. Alright. So I just watched a Hugbees video. Who the hell is Hugbees? I don't fucking know. He is a dude with a much larger dick than mine. And he wears sunglasses in his videos, and he talks about stuff. Alright? The last video that I watched, he talked about a rather large-penised individual known as Mad Jack Churchill. And I just have to ask, who was Mad Jack Churchill? And of course, me, being an incompetent hack with no creative potential, I posed this question to ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was oh so eager to respond with an answer, which I provide to you at this time. It's kind of long. So I ask, who was Mad Jack Churchill? Mad Jack Churchill, also known as Fighting Jack Churchill and Mad Jack, was a British military officer who gained fame for his eccentric and courageous actions during World War II. He was born on September 16, 1906 in Surrey, England, and he passed away on March 8, 1996. Churchill is best remembered for his unconventional and fearless approach to combat, as well as his use of archaic weapons on the battlefield. He served as a soldier and officer in the British Army and is particularly associated with the No. 2 Commando Unit, a special forces unit that operated during World War II. One of his most notable exploits took place during the Battle of France in 1940, where he single-handedly captured 42 German soldiers and an artillery position using only his sword and a longbow. It is said that he carried the bow and arrows into battle alongside his standard-issue weapons. During the Allied invasion of Italy in 1943, Churchill led his men into combat and was known for charging into battle armed with a Scottish broadsword. He was eventually captured by German forces in 1944 during a commando raid in Yugoslavia. Despite his audacious and often seemingly reckless actions, Mad Jack Churchill was highly regarded by his comrades for his leadership, bravery, and fighting spirit. After the war, he continued his military career, serving in various capacities until his retirement in 1959 with the rank of lieutenant colonel. Jack Churchill's exploits and unique personality have made him a legendary figure in military history, and he remains an iconic example of unconventional heroism and fearlessness on the battlefield. I should invest time into text-to-speech. Not just for, like, ChatGPT's part, so that way we can listen to ChatGPT speak for itself, but also so that I don't have to speak for myself, because I'm lazy. And that would be awesome if I could just, like, type up a script and let the computer do the talking for me. That would be great. I would love that. I might do more content if that was the case. Speaking of content, I just had to ask, was he an inspiration for Metal Gear Rising's Raiden? Raydan? Ray-Ban? Sunglasses. And ChatGPT says, yes. Mad Jack Churchill is believed to have been one of the inspirations for the character Raiden in the video game Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Raiden is a cybernetically enhanced ninja character who wields high-frequency blade and exhibits exceptional combat skills. The game's creator, Hideo Kojima, and the development team at Platinum Games drew inspiration from various sources to create Raiden's character, and Mad Jack Churchill's audacious exploits and his use of unconventional weapons like the sword are among the influences cited. The nickname Mad Jack may also have contributed to the character's name, Raiden. Those of us who are familiar with Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance may also be aware of Raiden's character being known as Jack the Ripper. I didn't think to ask that at the time, but you know, it's not too late. Maybe I'll remember to ask about that later. While Raiden's character in Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is fictional and futuristic, his fearlessness, swordsmanship, and unique combat style have some parallels with the real-life actions and eccentricities of Mad Jack Churchill. However, it's worth noting that the character is a creative amalgamation of various inspirations and not a direct representation of any one individual. I don't think any of us had any illusions that Raiden from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance had any direct parallel with any real-life character. It's just there's inspirations and there's art, and the art has inspirations, and I'm like, this one felt obvious. Was there any actual connections? I wanted to explore that. ChatGPT says yes. Is that actually true? I don't know. This software has a bad habit of hallucinating facts. So is it actually true? I don't know. But I would like to believe. Okay. I am going to get myself some liquids. Not alcoholic liquids, just regular liquids. And I am going to be right back. And we are going to continue our exploration into history, focused in the realms of World War II and this Mad Jack Churchill character, person, figure, thing. I'll be right back. This is my big ass mug. It's supposed to only have water in it, but instead I have stimulants. And by stimulants I mean Monster. That's it. Monster and ice. I would have made tea, but that's more work than I want to put into it. Instead, I have stir fry and Monster, and ChatGPT telling me things about history. Specifically, what are some unbelievable things that Mad Jack Churchill did? Are you ready for some unbelievable things that Mad Jack Churchill did? Because my dude, this guy, Mad Jack Churchill's actions during World War II were indeed extraordinary and often seems unbelievable due to their audacity and unconventional nature. Here are some of the most remarkable things that he did. Number 1 of 6. Charging into battle with a sword and longbow. Perhaps his most famous and unbelievable characteristic was his choice of weapons. Mad Jack Churchill carried a Scottish broadsword and a longbow with arrows into combat. In an era dominated by firearms and modern weaponry, using a sword and bow on the battlefield was highly unusual and a daring choice. The fuck? Capturing an enemy garrison with a sword. During the Battle of France in 1940, Churchill led a commando raid and, armed only with his sword and bow, captured a German observation post and 42 enemy soldiers. This feat was considered remarkable and showcased his bravery and combat skills. 3. Playing the bagpipes under fire. Mad Jack was also known for playing the bagpipes on the battlefield, a practice he found soothing. He found it soothing to play the bagpipes while being shot at. This guy had a legendarily large penis. He once played the bagpipes during an assault on a German position in Italy, leading his men forward while under enemy fire. Large penis. Number 4. Defying orders to continue fighting. In 1941, during the Battle of Crete, Churchill's unit was ordered to retreat. Instead of following the order, he continued to lead his men into battle until they were overwhelmed and captured by the Germans. He famously said, "I maintain that as long as you tell a German loudly and clearly what to do, if you are senior to him, he will cry, 'Jawohl,' and get on with it, enthusiastically and competently. But you must maintain the authority you have taken over him." What does Jawohl mean? I don't know, but maybe we'll get there. Chat, remind me. I say chat, remind me. There's 0 people in chat right now. Number 5, escaping from prison. I'm gonna just highlight Jawohl for a second, because I actually do want to come back to that. Number 5, escaping from prison. After being captured in Yugoslavia in 1944, Churchill was imprisoned in a Nazi concentration camp. However, he managed to escape and walked over 150 miles to reach the safety of the Allied lines. Can you imagine walking 150 miles? Most Americans can't imagine walking 1 mile. Like, think about your regular commute to work, right? You wake up, you get dressed, you get in your car, because of course you have a car. This is America. You can't live without a car. By the way, I don't have a car. You get in your car and you go to work, right? How far do you drive to go to work? Is it 1 mile? Is it 3 miles? 5 miles? 10 miles? How far do you drive to work? Right? Think about that distance, right? That you are not walking. You have your butt in a cushioned seat where you just put your foot on a pedal and your vehicle goes. You're not walking. You're driving. And you go the distance. This large-penised motherfucker fucking walked. How far? 150 fucking miles. Over what amount of time? I don't know. I don't know how long it took him, but he walked 150 miles from being imprisoned to Allied lines. By the way, I have opinions about cars and stuff. I'll go into that another day. Number 6. Night raids. Mad Jack was known for leading daring night raids behind enemy lines, creating confusion and disrupting enemy operations. These raids showcased his strategic acumen and boldness in executing unconventional tactics. It is essential to note that while these stories are a part of the legend and legacy of Mad Jack Churchill, some details might have been embellished or exaggerated over time. Nonetheless, his actions and the unconventional way he approached warfare have made him an iconic and memorable figure in military history. Yeah. But why the fuck did I not know his name before? Oh yeah. Oklahoma education. Can we get a rousing round of fuck Oklahoma? With all 0 of you in chat. But whatever. It's entirely possible that these streams will be viewed by other people in the future, and maybe something worthwhile may have been gleaned. It's not very often that I talk about history, but, you know, when I do, maybe it'll be useful. Alright, let's keep going. So, this one's an easy question. So, he was known for both bagpipes and longsword. Yes, that's correct. Mad Jack Churchill was known for 2 distinct and unconventional aspects of his personality and actions during World War II, playing bagpipes and wielding a longsword. Churchill had a deep love for the music, and he often played bagpipes on the battlefield. He believed that music had a calming and morale-boosting effect on his fellow soldiers, and it became one of his trademarks. He would sometimes play the bagpipes even while under enemy fire, showcasing his fearlessness and determination. Alongside his bagpipes, Mad Jack Churchill was famous for carrying a Scottish broadsword into battle. This was a highly unusual choice of weapon during a time when firearms and modern weaponry were the norm. Despite this, Churchill demonstrated remarkable skill with the sword and reportedly used it in close combat situations during his military exploits. The combination of bagpipes and a long sword, along with his fearlessness and unconventional approach to warfare, contributed to Mad Jack Churchill's legendary status as a unique and memorable figure in military history. His actions and choice of equipment have made him an inspiration to many and have added to the mystique surrounding his legacy. Yeah, I want to read more about this motherfucker. Like, ChatGPT is only going to give me the barest overview, but, like, people who are watching this video in the future, if you can recommend me a fucking book that talks about this motherfucker, this very large penised motherfucker known as Mad Jack Churchill, I'm interested. Alright? Okay. Moving on. Moving on. I heard a story. Right? I heard a story about a man who played bagpipes on the beaches in Normandy and wasn't shot, allegedly because he didn't carry a weapon. Could that have been Jack Churchill? ChatGPT responds. The story you heard about a man playing bagpipes on the beaches of Normandy and not being shot because he didn't carry a weapon is indeed associated with Mad Jack Churchill. However, it's important to clarify that the specific incident you mentioned did not occur during the D-Day landings on June 6, 1944, when Allied forces stormed the beaches of Normandy. The bagpipe incident you're referring to took place on the island of Brac in Yugoslavia in May of 1944 during an amphibious assault conducted by Mad Jack Churchill's unit, the Commandos. The Commandos. That just sounds fucking cool. As the Commandos landed on the beach, Churchill, and in his characteristic fashion, started playing the bagpipes while charging forward. He did this despite the fact that the landing was under enemy fire. The story goes that the German defenders were so astounded and confused by the sight of a bagpiper leading the attack that they hesitated for a moment, which allowed the Commandos to gain an initial advantage. During this particular engagement, Mad Jack Churchill's life was indeed spared, possibly because he wasn't carrying a firearm at the moment. Instead, he wielded his sword and threw grenades to engage the enemy. He threw grenades. This motherfucker had bagpipes, swung a sword around, pointing at things, and threw grenades. Have I mentioned that this guy had a large dick? While the incident on Brack Island showcases Mad Jack Churchill's daring and unconventional approach to warfare, it's important to note that he was involved in many other battles and raids during World War II, where his actions were equally remarkable and audacious. The bagpipe story on Brack Island is just one of the many fascinating tales that contribute to his legendary reputation. So this story is not a one-off incident. This was just the way he did things during the however many years that World War II was going on. I don't know what to do with this. Like, this guy is a real-life animated character. Or was at the time. So, at this point, I don't know what to... I don't know where to go from here, so... What are some other operations that Mad Jack Churchill participated in? Mad Jack Churchill was involved in several military operations and campaigns during World War II. Here are some of the notable ones. Number 1 of 8. Dunkirk Evacuation, Operation Dynamo. May and June of 1940, Mad Jack Churchill was part of the British Expeditionary Force during the Battle of France. He fought against the German invasion and, during the Dunkirk evacuation, helped the rescue and evacuation of British and Allied soldiers from the beaches of Dunkirk, France. Number 2. Operation Archery. December of 1941. Mad Jack Churchill participated in this raid on German-occupied Norwegian island of How the fuck am I supposed to pronounce that? Those letters don't exist in English. Bagzoy? Okay. While watching the Hugbees video, I made the joke of just call it Vagina Island and move on. So we're gonna call it Vagina Island and move on. The objective was to destroy German installations and gather intelligence. He led his men in combat during the operation. Good on you for raiding Vagina Island. Number 3, Operation Jubilee. Dieppe Raid, August 1942. Churchill took part in this ill-fated Allied amphibious assault on the German-occupied port of Dieppe, France. The raid was intended to test German defenses and gather intelligence, but resulted in the heavy casualties and was considered a partial failure. Number 4, Operation Husky. In July of 1943. This was the Allied invasion of Sicily. Mad Jack Churchill fought with his commando unit during the initial stages of the campaign. Number 5, the Battle of Salerno. September of 1943. During the Allied invasion of Italy, Mad Jack Churchill participated in the Battle of Salerno, an important amphibious landing operation. Now, this one grabbed my interest, and I'm pretty sure I asked about it later. Number 6, Yugoslav partisan support, 1943 to 1944. Churchill was involved in operations in Yugoslavia, where he fought alongside the Yugoslav partisans, the resistance group led by Josip Broz Tito. There's no fucking way I pronounced that correctly. Against German and Italian forces. Number 7. Capture and escape. 1944. While operating in Yugoslavia, Mad Jack Churchill was captured by German forces but managed to escape from the prison camp and walk over 150 miles to reach friendly lines. Again, this large penis motherfucker walked 150 miles. Right? Number 8. Operation Roast, 1945. This was one of the final actions in World War II in Norway. Mad Jack Churchill led a commando raid on the German-held island of Vagso. V-A-A-G-S-O. Vagso. Whatever. In Norway, to disrupt enemy operations. These are just a few of the operations that Mad Jack Churchill participated in during his military career. His actions throughout the war demonstrated his bravery, audacity, and unconventional approach to combat, making him a legendary figure in military history. I tell you what. Like, this guy, like, who even was this guy? Like, he rocks up, and then he kicks ass. Right? Large penised motherfucker. But you know what? I didn't have enough of that. So I asked, that's a lot of operations. What's the most influential of them? And ChatGPT responds, among the various operations in which Mad Jack Churchill participated, it is difficult to pinpoint the single one as the most influential, since each had its significance and impact over the overall war effort. However, some operations are more well known and have been recognized for their historical significance. Number 1. Operation Dynamo, Dunkirk evacuation. This operation was crucial in rescuing a large number of British and Allied forces from the beaches of Dunkirk in France after the German invasion of France and the Low Countries. While Mad Jack Churchill's role in the evacuation may not have been as prominent as some of his later actions, the overall success of this operation helped save a significant portion of the British Expeditionary Force and other Allied forces, allowing them to fight another day. You know, being able to fight another day is kind of a big deal. Like, fuck what video games teach you about, oh, retreat is bad. It's like, no. Live to fight another day. Because tomorrow's fight very well be just as important, if not more than, today's fight. Number 2, Operation Archery. I'm pretty sure this got brought up earlier, but you know what? It got brought up again. This raid on German-occupied Norwegian island of... Oh, it's a Vagina Island! I remember this one! Was one of the first major commando raids in World War II. It demonstrated the the capabilities of British commando units and showcased their ability to conduct surprise attacks on enemy positions. The raid also gathered valuable intelligence and disrupted German operations in Norway. Number 3. Operation Husky, Allied invasion of Sicily. The invasion of Sicily was a crucial step in the overall Allied strategy to liberate Italy and weaken Axis forces in southern Europe. Mad Jack Churchill's participation in this operation contributed to the successful establishment of a foothold on the island and paved the way for further Allied advancements into Italy. The Battle of Salerno. Number 4, the Battle of Salerno. This was another crucial operation during the Allied invasion of Italy. The successful landing at Salerno allowed the Allies to establish a bridgehead in the Italian mainland and advance northward, eventually leading to the liberation of Italy from Axis control. Number 5, Yugoslav partisan support. Churchill's involvement in supporting the Yugoslav partisans in their resistance against the Germans and Italians was significant for the Allied war effort in the Balkans. It helped tie down the Axis forces, disrupt their operations, and provide support to local resistance movements. While Mad Jack Churchill's actions in these operations were remarkable and showcased his bravery and leadership, it's essential to remember that no single individual's contributions can solely be credited for the outcomes of a large-scale military operations. These operations involved the efforts of many brave soldiers and commanders, each playing a vital role in achieving their objectives and contributing to the overall Allied victory in World War II. Fuck. For 2 reasons. 1, I am tired as fuck. 2, this is dense and interesting, and I want to read more, but I am not sure when I'm gonna fucking crash out. This video stream might just abruptly end for no reason, and that reason is gonna be my bed is right there and I'm gonna be on it. Between now and then, let's read some more history. So I ask, are there any first-hand stories from these operations? Of course there is. Where the hell else did we get history from? Yes, there are several first-hand accounts and stories from Mad Jack Churchill's military operations during World War II. Some of these stories have been documented in books, interviews, and historical accounts. Here are a few examples. 1. The Dunkirk evacuation. Operation Dynamo. I'm starting to recognize some of these names. Names of operations. Not names of people. Whatever. Dunkirk evacuation. Operation Dynamo. While specific first-hand accounts from Mad Jack Churchill during the Dunkirk evacuation are not as well documented, there are numerous memoirs and recollections from other soldiers who were part of the evacuation. These accounts describe the chaotic and perilous conditions on the beaches of Dunkirk as Allied troops tried to evacuate under heavy German fire. Operation Archery. In a book called Commando Crusade, the author Bruce Marshall recounted the raid on Vagina Island, Norway. This book includes details of Mad Jack Churchill's actions during the operation and his leadership in the face of fierce opposition from German defenders. 3. Battle of Salerno. I thought that I went over the Battle of Salerno at some point. Maybe I haven't gotten there yet. In a book titled Commando Men, Mad Jack Churchill's brother, Thomas Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. Holy shit, that's a name. Thomas Malcolm Thorpe Fleming Churchill. Also known as Tommy. Alright. Tommy shared stories of their experiences together during the war. Tommy, like Mad Jack, was a commando and fought alongside him during the Allied invasion of Italy. 4. The Yugoslav partisan support. There are various accounts of Mad Jack Churchill's time in Yugoslavia and his collaboration with the Yugoslav partisans. Some of these accounts can be found in books focusing on the resistance movements in the Balkans during World War II. Oh man. I've eaten most of my food and my brain is shutting down. Let's see if we can get through this first. Number 5. Escape from prison. After Mad Jack Churchill was captured in Yugoslavia, he managed to escape from a German concentration camp. Because you catch him and he gets away, and then you catch him again and he gets away again, and then you catch him again and he gets away again. It's because fuck you. Like, you cannot catch Mad Jack Churchill. The details of his escape and journey back to the Allied lines are part of Mad Jack Churchill legend. However, specific first-hand accounts of his escape may be less prevalent. It's important to note that first-hand accounts can vary in accuracy and detail, as memories may be influenced by time and circumstance. Historians and researchers often corroborate these stories with other primary sources, such as official records and additional testimonies, to create a comprehensive and accurate picture of the events. Nevertheless, these first-hand accounts offer valuable insights into the experiences and actions of Mad Jack Churchill and the soldiers who fought alongside him in various operations during the war. Okay, here's where I get about asking about the Battle of Salerno. Please tell me more about the Battle of Salerno. It's that straightforward. The Battle of Salerno, also known as Operation Avalanche, was a significant Allied amphibious landing that took place on the beaches of Salerno and nearby areas in southern Italy during World War II. The battle commenced on September 9th, 1943, and marked the beginning of the Allied invasion of mainland Italy, a crucial campaign in the Mediterranean theater. It's got sections. Background. Following the successful Allied invasion of Sicily, which was Operation Husky, which we heard a little bit about earlier, which led to the island's liberation from Axis control, the next objective was to gain a foothold on the Italian mainland. The Allies hoped that an invasion of Italy would divert German forces from the eastern and western fronts and potentially lead to the collapse of Mussolini's fascist regime. Because remember, Mussolini was allied with Hitler at the time. The landing. The landings at Salerno involved the United States Fifth Army commanded by General Mark W. Clark, and the British 8th Army under the command of General Bernard Montgomery. The two armies comprised a multinational force of American, British, Canadian, and other Allied troops. The initial assault began on September 9, 1943, with a massive naval and aerial bombardment to weaken the German defenses. The attack was launched simultaneously from sea and air, with amphibious landings on the beaches of Salerno and its surroundings. But the Germans resisted. German resistance. The Germans, led by Generalberst General Oberst. The Germans, led by Generaloberst, Colonel General Heinrich von Weitinghoff. Remember, I received my education in Oklahoma. If I do a piss poor job of pronouncing anything, blame the state of Oklahoma. The Germans, led by Generaloberst Heinrich von Weitinghoff, it's the best I can do, put up fierce resistance to the Allied landings. The Germans had fortified the area and were prepared for the invasion. The Allied troops faced heavy shelling, minefields, and intense enemy fire as they attempted to secure the beachhead. The battle for Salerno was fierce and protracted. The Germans launched several counterattacks, attempting to drive the Allied forces back into the sea. The Allies faced a difficult situation as they struggled to reinforce and expand the beachhead while facing continuous attacks. Despite the challenging circumstances, the Allied troops managed to hold their ground and gradually advance inland. The landings at Salerno, though successful in establishing a foothold on the Italian mainland, proved to be one of the bloodiest and hardest fought battles in the Italian campaign. The aftermath. The Allied forces at Salerno faced several weeks of hard fighting as they continued to advance northward in Italy. The Germans fiercely defended every inch of ground, leading to a slow and costly advance for the Allies. Eventually, the Allied forces linked up with the troops advancing from the southern tip of Italy, and the liberation of Italy from the Axis control began. I hope I said that in a way that sounded correct. And then the legacy. We're getting close to the end of this. It's been almost an hour, and I'm not planning on going for much more than an hour. The legacy. The Battle of Salerno was a crucial chapter in the Italian campaign. Despite the initial challenges and high casualties, the Allied forces demonstrated their resilience and determination to advance further into Italy. The invasion of Italy forced the Germans to divert resources from other fronts and contributed to the eventual collapse of Mussolini's government and Italy's surrender in September of 1943. However, the Italian campaign would continue to be a long and arduous struggle for the Allies, with many more battles and challenges to face before the ultimate victory in Italy was achieved. And I gotta ask, in the process of wrapping this up, who are some other legendary individuals from that era? Alright. The World War II era was filled with legendary individuals, both military leaders and civilians, who made significant contributions to the war effort or achieved fame for their actions during the conflict. Here are some other notable figures from that era. Number 1, Winston motherfucking Churchill. The British Prime Minister during most of World War II, Winston Churchill was an influential leader known for his inspiring speeches, strong leadership, and unwavering resolve in the face of Nazi aggression. Yeah, I think we know who Winston motherfucking Churchill was. Dwight D. Eisenhower. As the supreme Allied commander in Europe, Eisenhower played a critical role in planning and executing many major Allied military operations, including the D-Day invasion of Normandy. I think we all knew that one too. Franklin D. Roosevelt. I'm an American. I can say the word. The President of the United States during the early years of World War II, Roosevelt provided essential leadership and support to the Allies, and his For Freedom speech remains iconic. For Freedom speech? Let me just highlight that so I remember to come back to it. Number 4, Joseph Stalin. Oh boy. I wonder if Hitler's going to be mentioned on this list. Number 4, Joseph Stalin. As the leader of the Soviet Union, Stalin played a key role in the Eastern Front and the eventual defeat of Nazi Germany. That's giving you some courtesy, is it not? Number 5, Douglas MacArthur. An American general, MacArthur commanded Allied forces in the Pacific Theater and played a significant role in the defeat of Japan. Number 6, George S. Patton. Known for his aggressive and effective leadership, General Patton commanded the U.S. Third Army in Europe and was instrumental in several victories. Number 7, Erwin Rommel. Known as the Desert Fox, Rommel was a highly skilled German general who led the Axis forces in North Africa. Too bad that theater didn't mean shit. Number 8, Anne Frank. A Jewish teenager whose diary chronicled her experiences hiding from the Nazis during the Holocaust, becoming an enduring symbol of the human cost of the war. I was recently made aware of a saying said relatively frequently by Jews, and it describes a lot of different situations that Jews have suffered. The quote goes, "They tried to kill us. We survived. Let's eat." And given that World War II, one of the big dealios of World War II was Nazis killing Jews in an industrialized fashion, it's like, I can't really make jokes about this. Like, it's just all around bad and horrible and just like grotesque and like fucking fuck. But this quote comes back to me. They tried to kill us. They failed. Let's eat. Let's move on. Number 9. Raoul Wallenberg, a Swedish diplomat who saved thousands of Hungarian Jews during the Holocaust by providing them with protective passports. Again, they tried to kill us. They failed. Let's eat. I'm not trying to imply in any way that I'm Jewish. I'm not. The best I got is that I'm kind of sort of Cherokee, which I've been made aware of, like, ooh, being 1/8 Cherokee is kind of a fucking joke amongst people who are actually Cherokee. Like, okay. We're not going to get into that right now. We can get into that another time. Preferably when I'm not, 1, omega tired, and also 2, like, omega drunk. Number 10. Charles de Gaulle. The leader of the Free French forces, de Gaulle played a crucial role in rallying French resistance against German occupation. That's another character that I should look into at some point. He sounds interesting. And number 11, Rosie the Riveter, fictional character, cultural icon, representing the woman who worked in factories and shipyards during the war, contributing significantly to the war effort. These individuals and many others left a lasting impact on the course of World War II and the history of the 20th century. Their courage, leadership, and contributions have become a part of the rich tapestry of this transformative era in human history. Fucking hell. I was not prepared to learn some history today, but I watched a video and I started asking questions, and those questions gave me answers because the internet can do that now. And I'm like, and this is just like what I happen to find along the way. Right? Now remember, ChatGPT can lie to you, it can be wrong, it can hallucinate, whatever, but, you know, this was my brief journey through history with ChatGPT today. I know I promised that I was gonna look into the Epic of Gilgamesh, but sorry, I got distracted by World War II. There is so many more stories here that I could explore. I'm open to suggestions. I'm gonna kill the stream and finish eating my food. And I'm gonna go to bed. Because this has been an hour of history with me and an AI that doesn't know anything after 2021.